Are you a fellow SB19 fan and have you listened to their song ILAW? If you have and you've thought, I wish I could better understand what they're saying. Well, I have good news for you. In this video, I will translate and interpret the words and powerful message behind SB19's ILAW. Hey guys, this is Myla and welcome to my slightly new YouTube channel. I will cut to the chase here. I am a huge SB19 fan and I know I'm not alone. There are millions of you out there. One of my favorite SB19 songs is ILAW, and I have found myself listening to it more and more lately. However, I've noticed that a lot of our fellow SB19 fans who are non-Filipinos have expressed that they wish they could understand what the song meant, or they wish they could find a better translation of the lyrics of the song ILAW. I myself have tried to look for a translation via the caption. I have not found an accurate translation of the song. That was why I decided to create this video. So I've pre-recorded that earlier, and so I will now switch to that. I don't need to prolong this introduction any longer than necessary. All right, are we ready? Okay, here we go. Kanina lang nahuli ang aking sarili. So kanina means earlier. So it could be earlier today or just, just earlier. Nahuli ang aking sarili. I caught myself. Nakangiti na naman at nagkukubli. Smiling again and hiding. Nakangiti na naman at nagkukubli. Hiding, so that's it's an unfinished sentence, okay? So he was saying, I caught myself smiling again and hiding what I am truly feeling, or my true feelings that I will never, or I can never share with anyone, okay? Kanina ay nahuli ang aking sarili. Nakangiti na naman at nagkukubli. Nang tunay na kailanman ay di ko maipagsasabi. Na naman. Okay, he did not mention the word feeling in that phrase. Ang tunay na kailan may di ko sasabihin. Tunay means truth. Tunay can mean real or true or truth. So if you're going to take this into context, and considering, the previous phrases, he was saying that smiling and hiding the truth that I can never share with anyone. Okay? Na naman. Okay, na naman is again. All right? But the fact that it was repeated, I think it is more, because I've seen another translation somewhere that says again and again. Well, again and again, if you say that in Tagalog, it's not na naman. You would say paulit-ulit, again and again, repetitive, right? But I think in this context, Pablo, who is the writer of the song, the term poetic license, right? Like you want to emphasize the phrase na naman, which means again or once again, right? He just repeated it to emphasize it, or just for the melody. Whatever the reason is, I don't think that the direct translation for that, or the accurate translation for that, is again and again, because when you're taking it into context, the truth that I can never share, right, or reveal, right? Na naman, once again, right? Okay, so I will be going back and forth again. just because I want us to, and for the non-Filipino friends out there that we have that are watching this video right now, I just would like to help you in understanding the powerful message behind these words much better. So let's do that again. Okay.
Kanina ay nahuli ang aking sarili, nakangiti na naman at nagkukumli. Nang tunay na kailanman ay di ko maipagsasabi na naman.
Yes, so earlier today I caught myself smiling again and hiding the truth that I can never tell, because maipagsasabi, sabi is to say or to tell. So the truth that I can never tell, the truth that I can never tell anyone, na naman. Once again. And I think the once again refers to that process of smiling on the outside, but concealing something from the inside or hiding away from something.
At pagdating sa aking tahanan ay hindi ko na naman mahanap aking susi.
Okay. Pagdating sa aking tahanan ay hindi mahanap ang aking susi. When I got home, once again, I can't find my keys, or I can't find my keys again. Susi is key. But again, key is metaphoric, I think, is a metaphor here. It's not the actual literal key of a house. I believe he is describing a key to unlocking something, okay? And tahanan is home. Direct translation is home, but it could also be talking about home, which is you, yourself, or wherever it is that you belong, right? You know, whatever place it is that you call home. So, but the direct translation here, as Josh is singing to us, is when I get home, once again, I can't find my key.
Saang lupalap ko ba ito na itabi, pasintabi na naman.
Saang lupalop ko ba ito na itabi? Where the heck did I put it? Saang lupalop means like where on earth, right? Saang lupalop, where on earth have I, naitabi is like where did I like stash it away, right? So where in the world did I stash it away, or did I leave it, you know? Pasintabi is like excuse me or pardon me. Na naman again, once again.
Nalilito, nahihilo na sa inyo.
Nalilito, I'm confused or confused. Okay, so it's just confused, but of course, because Pablo was writing from the first person perspective, so you could also say it as I am confused. And then sa inyo is you, but in the plural form. Inyo is like you addressing a bunch of people, right? A crowd. So, nalilito sa inyo, is that what Justin said?
Nahihilo na sa inyo.
Nalilito is confused. Nahihilo is dizzy, or you know, like my head is spinning, right? Sa inyo is you in the plural form. So, putting that all into context, it means you guys are confusing me, or you're making my head spin. You're confusing me, you're making my head spin. But you as in a bunch of people, not just one person.
Nasaan na nga ba ang sarili kong pagkatao?
Nasaan na nga ba ang sarili kong pagkatao? Where is my identity, right? Sarili kong, my own identity. Sarili is self, or in this context, sarili kong pagkatao, my own identity. Because you don't say my self-identity, right? So you would just say my own identity. Where is my own identity? First of all, I'm so enamored by Pablo's emotion and vocal prowess. and just dang. Okay, okay, back to the translation, because I promised you that I will focus more on the translation or the meaning of the song, but man, it blows me away. All right, again. Okay, sino is who, bang may tenga, tenga is ear, sa mga bulong ko, bulong is whisper, but mga is plural, so whispers, right? Ko is mine, so my whispers. So he's saying who has the ear to hear my whispers, right? So if you are going to translate it like word for word, he's saying who has the ear for my whispers. But again, if you're just like understanding the context of it, who has the ear to hear my whispers or to listen to my whispers, or who has the ear for my whispers? Okay, so having said that the direct translation is who has the ear for my whispers, or who has the ear to listen or to hear my whispers. You can also just say who can hear my whispers, right? But again, this is slightly this is a slightly deeper type of Tagalog. This is the type of Tagalog words that you seldom hear in everyday conversation or Tagalog conversation. So this is very poetic, and that's another thing that I love and admire so much about Pablo, is that he's so poetic. He's bringing back that the beauty of the Filipino, the Tagalog or Filipino language, right? The beauty in the words. So he's really using words that normally in everyday conversation you would not phrase it that way. Like you would not say who has the ear, you would just say who would listen, right? Who can hear me, who can listen to me, right? Or who would be willing to listen to me. But he chose to use the word ear. Who has the ear? So it's very, very profound, very more powerful. Okay, let's backtrack here. Sigaw is to scream or yell. Malabo is vague or faint or unclear. Okay, so he's saying even if I scream, it's still faint, or it comes to you as very faint. So pretty much he's just reiterating the fact that he is unheard. Nobody seems to be able to hear him clearly. Okay, so even if he's yelling at the top of his lungs, no one can seem to hear him or understand him, right? Tao po. Tao po is a phrase that we use when you're knocking on someone's door, okay? You don't say tao po, because I have seen another translation somewhere that says who's out there. It's more like is anyone home or is anyone in there? Because the phrase tao po, we only use it when we're knocking on someone's door. So you don't say tao po when you're just calling out to somebody in the open. You only use it, when you are knocking on someone's door. So when he says tao po, pakinggan niyo naman ako, it's like, hello, is anyone home, right? Is anyone there, in there, like inside the home or inside the house? Pakinggan niyo naman ako, please listen to me, or please hear me. Okay, I can't help but just switch to like fangirl mode whenever I see Stell. Okay. All right, back to translation. Okay, bakit di nyo subukang buksan ang bukas namang pinto? Why don't you, again, the you here is in plural form, okay? Why don't you, subukan is to try. Why don't you try to open a door that, okay, you might think he's saying, or Pablo is saying, why don't you try to open an already open door? Well, that doesn't make sense, because if you see a door open, why would you feel the need to open a door that is already wide open? So that is not the context. The context is, why don't you, in the plural sense, try to open an unlocked door, or the door that is unlocked. So because in Tagalog we don't have a direct a Tagalog term for unlocked, okay? We can say that it hindi nakakandado, or it is not locked, but because kandado is like a padlock, but then that's gonna be a very long phrase to put into the song, and it does not sound good. So I am trying to understand that Pablo chose to phrase it as, bakit di nyo buksan or subukang buksan ang bukas namang pinto? So when he says bukas is open, pinto is door, and so when he says a bukas namang pinto, a door that is already open, so he's just saying a door that is unlocked. So feel free to open the door that is unlocked. I mean, it's not locked, it's open, so just open it, right? Because when somebody knocks on your door and it's unlocked, you can just say, pasok, tuloy, bukas yan. You always just say, come on in, it's unlocked, or the door is not locked, right? So that's what Pablo is saying here. Why don't you try to open an unlocked door, right? Okay. Or the door that is unlocked.
Nang tuluyan ang makita nyo, tunay na ako.
So that you can really see or completely see, because tuloy is like the fullness of something, right? Tuluyan, it's like absolutely, right? So that you can fully see tunay na ako, the real me. Again, I said earlier that the word tunay can mean real or true or truth, right? So you can. So he's saying, so that you can fully see the real me.
Di nagtatago.
Not hiding. Di nagtatago. Di is a shortened form of hindi, which means, in English, it means no or not, right? So di nagtatago. Nagtatago is to hide. So not hiding.
Sa likod ng bumabulag na ilaw na to.
Behind this blinding light. Okay, so personally, I know that the direct translation of ilaw is light, but personally, I'm taking this to mean from Pablo's perspective as spotlight, because again, we don't have a Tagalog word for spotlight. We will just refer to it as light. Even as, you know, when you're on stage as an artist performing and you want to say to the light technician, hey, can you like do something about these spotlights, we'll just say ilaw, right? But I personally believe that the kind of light that Pablo is referring to here is spotlight, the blinding spotlight. I'm not hiding behind the blinding spotlight, okay? Which makes sense because of where they are and who they are.
Nakapamuni-muni sa kawalan ng huni.
Okay. Nakapamuni-muni is to think, to ponder, right? Nakapamuni-muni. Like, he's pondering, right? So I was able to ponder sa kawalan ng huni. Kawalan is the absence of. Huni, usually we use that word, again, very deep words, because it's the humming of the birds, right? The tweeting of the birds. So even the sound of the crickets, you can also use the word huni to describe the sound of crickets, right? Like, you know, the chirping sound, that sound. So when Pablo wrote, nakapamuni-muni sa kawalan ng huni, I would take it to mean as I was able to ponder in silence, okay? Because the absence of sound is silence, right?
Di mapapirmi aking sarili.
Okay, di makapirmi. Again, di is shortened version of hindi, which is not or cannot, do not, no. So anything that negates something is hindi, right? So di makapirmi is sa aking sarili is like I can't stand still.
Ilaw nga ang daylight.
Okay, let me just go back to what Stel said. Sa aking sarili, because sarili is self, but when you're putting it all in context, that makes sense, right? You can say, I can't stand still in myself, so you can just say, I can't stand still. But again, Pablo being the poetic Pablo and making the words, sound poetic. And when you're writing a song or a poem, it has to rhyme to a certain extent, right? It has to sound good. So that's why his choice of words is very understandable. It makes sense. Okay, so now we are...
Ilaw nga ang dahilan kung ako ngaya'y nasan man.
Okay, this is another reason why I am interpreting the ilaw here as spotlight, because of what Ken said here. Ilaw nga ang dahilan. The spotlight is the reason kung saan let me say that.
Kung ako ngaya'y nasan man.
Okay, kung ako ngayon nasan man. Again, the phrasing is very poetic and very deep Tagalog, because direct translation is ilaw nga ang dahilan, the light is the reason, all right? Kung ako ngayon nasaan man, you wouldn't in normal day-to-day conversation in Tagalog, you wouldn't phrase it that way, because that word for word, what that means is kung ako ngayon nasaan man. It's like a Yoda talk. It's like the reverse, how Yoda talks, like truly gifted you are. So kung ako ngayon nasaan man, if I am right now where I am, right? So it's like, whoa, Yoda. But again, taking it all into context, the light is the spotlight. And let me just point out the use of the word nga. Ilaw nga ang dahilan. Nga it's like a word that we use to emphasize. So it's more like an adverb. You emphasize something else in the phrase, right? So ilaw nga ang dahilan, to emphasize the fact that the spotlight is the reason. So yes, it's like almost like indeed, in fact, yes, the spotlight is the reason that I am where I am now. Ngayon is now, today. So I am where I am now.
Ngunit kailangan kong magpahinga, pati ng ilang pansamantala.
Oh my gosh, this is very powerful. Ngunit kailangan kong magpahinga. Ngunit is but. However, kailangan kong magpahinga. I need to rest. Patayin muna ang ilaw pansamantala. Please turn off the spotlight temporarily or momentarily or for the time being. All right? Or pansamantala is temporarily. So you can interpret it. You can also reword it or rephrase it as, can somebody turn off these spotlights even for just a moment?
Bakit ganito? Inakalang magbabago.
Okay, bakit ganito is, why is it this way? Inakalang magbabago, I thought it will change. But I have to listen to the rest of this line to really get the context, okay?
Kabayaran ba dito'y sarili ko'y maglalaho?
Ooh, is the payback or the payment, right? Or the price I have to pay is to lose myself. Let's repeat that again so that I can hear the whole.
Oh, kabayaran.
Bakit ganito? Sorry, Josh. I just need to hear you.
Ganito, inakalang magbabago. Kabayaran ba dito'y sarili ko'y maglalaho?
Okay. It's like, bakit ganito is, why is it this way? But you can also say in English, what is going on, right? Like, what's happening? Or why are things happening the way they are? So you can translate it to English in many different ways. But bakit ganito is, why is this like this, right? akala ko'y magbabago or inakalang magbabago. Magbabago is to change. Inakala is like I thought. Okay, so it's like I thought it will change, but again, in the context of taking into consideration the next line, kabayaran ba ito, or kabayaran ba dito sarili maglalaho? The price I have, is the price that I have to pay to lose myself in the process. So I'm taking that what Pablo is trying to convey in these words is that I can't understand. It's like I'm baffled. I don't get it. I thought things will change, like for us, right? But losing myself in the process is not the price that I thought I would have to pay. So, if you have been a fan of SB19 for quite a while now, for any amount of time, and you know their backstory, and I think this also applies, this resonates so much with a lot of different artists, is that you work hard because you just want something to change in your life, maybe getting out of poverty, but then you find that you lose yourself in the process. Okay, so this is repetition of the chorus, and we already went through all that, like who can hear or who has the ear to hear my whispers. Even if I scream, it's unclear or it's faint. No one can seem to hear it, right? Tao po, again, knocking on the door, right? Tao po, like, is anybody home? Please listen to me. Why don't you, again, plural form, why don't you try to open the door that is unlocked? So that you can fully see the real me. Not hiding behind these blinding or this blinding spotlight. Here I am again. Okay, he's saying on my way to the precinto is precinct in English. Not really sure if that is the exact Spanish words for the Spanish speaking community, but in Tagalog, our language has a lot of Spanish words in it, but sometimes it's not the accurate, Spanish translation, but not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but precinto is precinct, right? But again, going back to the term poetic license, Pablo, he meant prison, but the Tagalog word for prison is kulungan, which does not rhyme with the rest of the lines. So it's not a word that he probably wanted to use because it does not fit in, right? Because everything else that follows ends in O, so presinto, niño, or something. So, heto na naman ako is me, so here I am again, me or I, right? On my way to the precinto, so it's not the actual precinct, but prison, okay?
Nag-iisip ng kung ano-ano, kailan bang laya ko dito?
Nag-iisip ng kung ano-ano, thinking of so many things, like whatever, like multitude, a myriad of thoughts running through my head, right? So I'm thinking of a lot of different things. Kung ano-ano is just like random things, right? Well, probably not random, but just a bunch of things, right? So, heto na naman ako, here I am again, thinking of a lot of things, papunta sa presinto. Again, let's see. Oh, sorry. Josh. Okay.
Nag-iisip ng kung ano-ano. Kailan ba laya ko dito?
Kailan ba laya ko dito? When will I be free from this place? Okay, so referring to the prison that he first, mentioned.
Dito, eto na naman ako. Pwede bang ipagpaliban muna ng isang linggo?
Heto na naman ako, here I am again. Pwede ba munang ipagpaliban ng isang linggo? Can we delay this even for just a week? Right? Pagpaliban is to delay or to give it a break, right? So, ipagpaliban is to delay something or to give it a break. So again, putting it into context, here I am again. Again, I think that the routine of being in the spotlight and then smiling in front of people but hiding something, and the feeling of not being heard or not being seen for who he truly is, that whole routine, that whole process, that whole cycle, can we just take a break for a moment? Here I am again. Can we just take a break even for just a week?
Pwede muna bang hinto?
Okay, so here, when he said, pwede muna bang into? Remember, throughout the entire song thus far, the you that Pablo used is in plural sense. That's why inyo, because the singular form is iyo, the plural form is inyo. But here, pwede muna bang ihinto is, can you stop it already? Like, stop it already, right? Can you stop it already? But the you here is mo is singular, so I'm just not sure why the switch from the plural to the singular form, but that's what it means.
Papalapit, ako'y papalapit na di kasi yabag ng bawat takbang nitong paa.
Okay, papalapit is to draw closer, to draw near. So I'm drawing closer, I'm drawing closer, or getting closer, I'm getting closer. Bigat sa yapak ng aking mga paa. There's that heaviness in my footsteps or heaviness in the steps that I take. So that's what it means.
Patungo sa lugar kung saan ayaw kong pumunta.
Patungo sa lugar, heading towards the place kung saan ayaw kong pumunta. Heading towards the place that I don't want to be. Alright?
Wala na bang iba? Wala na ba?
Wala na bang iba? Is there nothing else? And then wala na ba? Is there nothing? Right? Is there nothing else? Is there nothing? Again, just the emphasis, right? The repetition. In Tagalog, or in the Filipino language, we repeat words or phrases to emphasize the intensity or the magnanimity of that idea. So when we say ang ganda mo, you're beautiful. But if we say you wanted to say you're very beautiful or you're so beautiful, we say ang ganda mo. We just repeat the word beautiful. When you say very or you're so beautiful, we just repeat the word or the adjective to emphasize it. So wala na ba iba? Wala na ba? So the repetition, like what Pablo also did with the na naman earlier, is just really just to emphasize once again, right? Okay.
Patuloy ang aking paghahanap sa pag-asa, ngunit wala saysay pa ang pagmamakaawa.
Patuloy ang paghahanap sa pag-asa. I keep looking for hope, ngunit walang saysay ang... Okay, let me backtrack. I'm like, I lost.
Ngunit wala saysay pa ang pagmamakaawa.
Ngunit walang saysay pa ang pagmamakaawa. But all my pleading or all my begging is pointless. Walang saysay is pointless, right? Or futile, right? Yeah, so all my pleading, all my begging, it's pointless.
Ano pa ba ang kabuluhan nitong aking paghinga?
Okay, ano pa ba ang kabuluhan nitong aking paghinga? Ano pa ba ang kabuluhan is what is the meaning? Again, the pa is used to emphasize ano pa ba. What else is the meaning? Kabuluhan ng aking paghinga. Okay, paghinga is to breathe. Hinga or hininga is breath, but when you say paghinga is the act of breathing or to breathe. So what else is the meaning of my taking a breath or my breathing? Doesn't make sense when you translate it that way, but that word for word, that's what the words meant. But in context, what else is the meaning behind my existence is what Pablo is saying. Again, very powerful, powerful choice of words. Sino is who. So he's looking for who can hear him, right? He's looking for who out there can hear him or can really see who he is. And by now, at this point, you're already getting the context, right? The meaning of or the message of the song. Okay, so it's a cry for just wanting to be seen and be heard, but because of this, them being in spotlight or in front of the spotlight, it's like they are forced to not to pretend to be something they're not or someone they're not, but forced to hide their true feelings. But it's not like they wanted to hide, like the bukas namang pinto, the already unlocked door. It's an invitation to, if you just want to come in, you are welcome to come in, right? He's just saying, who else, who is out there that is willing to hear him, see him, and just open the unlocked door to get to know the real him. Who? Who has the ear to hear me, to hear my whispers? Okay. Kahit paisigaw ko ay malabo, even if I scream or even if I yell it out. Yeah, you can hear me, right? Pretty much, you already get the point. It's faint, it's unclear. So pretty much what you're saying is, even if I yell or scream at the top of my lungs, you can hear me, you can hear me, you can hear me. Malabo is faint. Okay, when he's building it up, malabo, malabo. Malabo. All right, that's unclear or faint, but again, context, right? Even if I yell, even if I scream at the top of my lungs, you can't hear me. Nobody can hear me. Nobody can hear me. Or, yeah, it's like it's faint. It's faint. It's faint. But really, when you say it in everyday conversation, you don't say, I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, but it's faint. No, you just say, you can't hear me. You understand now how powerful this message is. Wow. The emotion that they brought into the delivery of their song. Wow. So now it makes sense, right? Guys, it makes sense. And again, it's just my personal take, because I have also listened to other people, give their own opinion or their own interpretation of the song. And yes, like I said, light just means, ilaw just means light in English. But I think given the rest of the lines in the song, Pablo was talking about the spotlight or the price they feel or he feels they had to pay for being in the spotlight. And I think this is very powerful because for artists like them, it's a cry for the fans to never forget that they're also human beings, that regardless of what we do professionally, what our careers are, or our jobs, or the roles we play in our lives, we all have that universal need to be heard, to be seen, to be accepted for who we are. And Pablo, I believe, was just really trying to send out the message that we have nothing to hide. We are an open book pretty much, and we welcome, the door is unlocked. We welcome anyone who cares enough to get to know us for the real us. So as fans of SB19, let's just not forget that behind the spotlight, let's just give them a break, because I also believe this talks about expectations, the expectations we have of artists, of people that are considered to be public property or public figures, right? Like, we forget that they also have a need for privacy, a need for some time alone, for some quiet space, like we all do, right? And that actually, this is very powerful if you are also going to think about mental health in general, right? Mental health, because a lot of people who reach that breaking point, or the point where they break down and slip into depression, is when they feel that nobody else understands them, or nobody else cares enough to understand what they truly feel, what their thoughts are, right? As though their thoughts don't matter, their feelings don't matter. So very powerful. And even if you are not an artist like SB19, you are not a public figure, you are not in the spotlight, so to speak, we can all relate to this, because in our own little bubble, in our own circle of influence, no matter how big or how small that circle of influence is, we all have that, again, universal need for us to be heard, for us to be seen for who we really are, to be heard for what we really feel or what we really think about different things, right? And not be judged for it, not be judged for expressing our deepest, innermost thoughts, right? Very powerful. So you can just say, if you are, for young people out there, the younger generation, and if you are one of the millions and millions of admirers of SB19, if Pablo can write these words, meaning he's coming from that place too, like he's digging it from some place, because he's been there, or he's actually really feeling it right now, right? And this is a message for us to better understand where they're coming from. You can also find comfort in the words that you're not alone. You're not alone. These guys, they share that, in that emotion too, in that desire too. We all do. So let's just be kind to one another, and let's just also let's take time to listen also to one another. And we can actually help a lot of people who are going through stress and depression in this way. I'm not saying that is the only way, but I believe that half the battle is won if we just take some time to listen to each other and just be kind to one another, and just remember that everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to be seen for who they are, what they really feel, and they are entitled to it. Let's not pass judgment for, they might not share the same feelings as we feel or as we do, but for as long as we say, I do not agree with you, but I love you, so I respect your thoughts, and I'm here to better understand you. Like just to express that you want to understand someone, even if it's hard to understand, or even if what the person is saying does not align with your own personal views, but just say, I hear you, and even I think I'm not 100% understanding you right now, but please continue to help me understand. Goes a long way. All right, that's it. Tell me what you think. Drop it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys again soon. If you like what you have just seen and you want to see more of this type of videos here in my channel, please subscribe, and drop a comment. Okay, love you guys. Bye for now.